Good morning, YouTube. How you doing? It's me, Deek Jackson, with What the Fucking Papers Say. On the 8th of September, 2020. I struggled to buy a paper today because apparently all the papers in Scotland have news from Scotland, which is just a load of pish. I could have bought the Morning Star again, a communist rag. Good morning, Mohammed. Allah isn't Akbar. So I just bought the Independent again, which isn't independent. Not because of the headline, but because it was only 65p and I'm cheap. Oh, I see, you do believe in Allah. Well, you can fuck right off, you retarded moron fuck. You know, I thought your name was ironic or something, but now that I know that you actually believe in God, get to fuck, you fucking evil moron. Go on, fuck right off. Really, this is no place for people who are sensitive or God-fearing, and I fear you might be both. Or I hope you are sensitive and you do fuck off. Really, any Jews, Christians, any people who have a divine belief tuning into this, just fuck off. I really don't like you. I think you're evil, and it's my mission on Earth to destroy you. See theastronomers.org. Visit the website and get the t-shirt. So Mohammed, if you haven't left already, fuck right off. For those of you thinking I should be more inclusive and, I don't know, tolerant. It was Martin Luther King Day last week, and in Britain there's a poet called Benjamin Zephaniah. He's the sort of guy the media always go to when they want to know what the black people are thinking. They want to hear an authentic black voice speak on some issues. And because he's a poet, he's quite often gives forth with a poem. And this day was no different. He had rewritten Martin Luther King speech, I Have a Dream. And I can't obviously remember exactly how the poem went, but the theme of this poem was how all of the people of the world, all the Christians and the Jews and the Muslims and all the black people and the white people and all the people of different beliefs and cultures were all going to sit down together and love each other and get on. What a load of fucking pants. Really? I will not be sitting down with Christians who think my children were born sinners anytime soon. I really won't. I won't be sitting down with Jews who believe that they are God's chosen people and I am not. I really won't. And I won't be joining hands and singing Kumbaya fucking ah with any of these retarded evil moron fucks. I really won't. And so if you are one of the retarded evil moron fucks of Earth, and you were hoping that one day we would all sing Kumbaya around the fireplace, not gonna fucking happen. Because I don't believe that I have to tolerate your bizarre and evil beliefs. I believe I should combat them. Literally, combat them. I believe that you should be disinfected from the evil beliefs that you have, and that it's the job of sane, rational people who can get their words out to deal with you soon, in a metaphorical way that involves creating our own religion, which says you're evil, and then persuading everybody rationally that to believe that nonsense is evil. You can see how that goes there. Having been thought of as evil by all of the religious people of Earth for millennia now, I feel I'm only leveling the playing field by pointing this shit out. There'll be no kumbaya with the Christians, the Muslims, and the Jews. You're evil, retarded, moron, idiot fucks. Fuck you. Get off the fence, Deek. What do you really think? Is there a newspaper today? No, I'm just reading Fuck Religion. It's a new magazine. It's out in Britain, published by All Religion is Evil, Inc. Anyway, shall we get on with it? Close the door on your way out, Mohammed. Off you go. Because all the papers were full of Scottish pish, I had to buy one of them, and this was the cheapest, so there you go. The headline says, "Home visits ban for 1 million Scots," but I think it should say, "Home prison for 1 million sheep." This is the news that because of rising cases, a word that you will hear throughout this newspaper, the government has ordered 1 million people to lock themselves up. And being good sheep, honestly, as I look around me, I'm starting to see nothing but subservient, obedient cattle everywhere I look, putting their masks on and taking them off and standing to attention and hopping on one leg when... Oh, Mohammed, I hope you're not one of those last word cunts, because as this is my channel, I can assure you, I will have the last word. Toodle pip. So, yeah, as I look out the window, all I see is livestock, cattle, mooing, braying. Yeah, I'm not sure why I'm losing signal. Perhaps it was too hot. Good morning, Terry. So, Scottish people, Scottish sheep, Scottish cattle, Scottish livestock. I'm actually outside Pets at Home. You can't see it, but I'm outside a big... all the pets in Scotland have been ordered to stay at home. Anyway, moving on. Government faces legal action over COVID pollution risk. This is a story that increased pollution from burning fossil fuels in transport makes you more susceptible to become unhealthy if you contract. Good morning, whoever that is. The sun's in my eyes, so you'll have to excuse me if I can't read everybody's names. But good morning to you all, and thanks for tuning in. A story that the government is not responding quickly enough to evidence that dirty, polluted air means you're more likely to catch COVID-19. This is the first of many stories in this paper about how we must all embrace the new green environmental fraud and lie that is going to be given to us in the very near future, because now is the great opportunity because of COVID to do that. And that's just one of many stories in this paper, along with many other stories about cases going up around the world. Cases, not deaths. Good morning. Then we have a large double-page spread on Brexit, which is still apparently hugely important. I thought we'd left. I really did. I voted to leave, and then years and years went by, and we got rid of Theresa May because she didn't really want to leave, and we voted in Boris Johnson. Well, I didn't. I could never, ever bring myself to vote Tory. It's just a thing. I would rather throw up my bones. But there you go. So Boris Johnson was voted in, and we left Europe. And so what's all this talk of deals? And I voted for no deal. I voted for the European Parliament, an unelected bunch of quasi-aristocratic, rich entitled tossers, to have fuck all to do with my life. That's what I voted for. I voted for my government getting closer to me, so if I needed to, I could march on them with an angry mob with pitchforks and string them up from a lamppost. And Strasbourg is too far away to march. It really is. It's too far to march, and my pitchfork would get heavy before I get there. And so fresh calls for an independence vote in Scotland. You would think that I'd be for that because the Scottish government's only 20 minutes away. I could string them up from a lamppost in short order. However, since they want to take us back into Europe, I won't be voting for that. Independence in Europe is an oxymoron. And then there's more news about coronavirus. However, the most crucial news about coronavirus the most crucial news about coronavirus is here in the vaccine may be ready by early next year, says Health Secretary. Stand by and watch out because the stuff that I've been saying for ages is actually going to happen to you. All right. A COVID vaccine is likely to be ready early next year. We are already starting to manufacture the doses ahead of approval. Wait a minute, let's go over that again because it may seem baffling at first. A vaccine which hasn't finished testing and hasn't been approved is already being manufactured for you if you're in Britain. Although I assure the experience of people in Britain will be replicated around the world. So an untested vaccine is being produced already, the government's already paid for it, to give to you. All right, furthermore, ministers are looking into rolling out mass testing that could provide people with a pass to attend events knowing that they are not infectious. And by events, they mean the shops, your job, outside your house. That's what they mean by events. They mean life. They could attend life once they get the test and the pass. We can use mass testing so people can check whether they have the virus. Well, we can check. And if they don't, then they can go and do things. I quote. We are rolling out mass testing so people can check whether they have the virus. And if they don't, they can go and do things. Now, conversely, if you do test positive for the virus, you can't do things. There's a new technology we're backing to get a test where you can essentially find out on the spot whether somebody is infected. Sieg Heil, mein Führer. Stand by for that army checkpoint with the on-the-spot test to determine whether you can do things, you know, like live, be free, stuff like that. More green fraud stories. Invest in car sharing, councils told. Cut VAT to incentivize electric vehicles. Active travel to become more popular. These are all stories promoting the green lie that there's actually anything you can do about the fucked up shit we've done to the atmosphere. Now, regular viewers of my stuff will know that I believe the planet's already fucked. There's nothing you personally can do about it. You can't turn down your central heating and take up cycling to work to save the planet. It's already fucked. It was fucked at least 30 years ago by our industrial CO2 emissions, and it remains fucked today. The cure, if you like, the fix on this planet that we are spinning through space on, does not involve you sticking around. The people who own everything of importance and value on Earth know that the planet is fucked, and they don't need you to fix it. They really don't. Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk can roll out some automated carbon extracting equipment from some industrial facility in Kazakhstan. In fact, you're a problem, because I assure you, there is no way 8 billion people are going net zero. Not gonna happen. 8 billion people with net zero carbon emissions, not gonna happen. Therefore, there's no point in keeping you around. And there's no point in taking anything out the atmosphere till you're gone. Okay, government may have paid up to 3.5 billion in fraudulent furlough claims. This is the UK government who paid people to not to go to work on your behalf with your money. The government doesn't have any money. The actual total bill for the furlough scheme, that's just an estimate of the fake claims, 3.5 billion. The real figure is 35 billion pounds of debt the government got you into to pay people to not go to work in case they got slightly ill. That's debt for you. More information from the World Government, the World Health Organization, lays out vaccine approval rules. You won't believe this, or maybe you will. I'm having the strangest dream. Do you remember that biosecurity lab in Wuhan that is probably the source of the virus that has caused the tyranny and fascism and lockdown and destruction of your freedoms and your economies all around the world? Guess who's gonna make the vaccine? I shit you not. I shit you not. You couldn't make this shit up. Well, I had the strangest dream. The World Health Organization is working with China on requirements for the approval of Chinese COVID vaccines. We've been sharing information and the requirements for international approval of vaccines. The extent of inoculations under the emergency program which China launched in July reveal how actively it is using an experimental vaccine. Which came from Wuhan! And so once the WHO have agreed that that vaccine that China's using, it's okay for you, the Wu flu will soon replaced by the vaccine that's okay for Wu, that came from Wu. Man, honestly, you couldn't make this shit up. Well, you could, and I would believe you, honestly. Russian opposition leader neutralized by poisoning. That's not the headline. That's just what happened. I mean, I don't give a fuck about the Russian opposition, but he's a goner now. Even if he survives and he's out of the coma, how do you think his campaign's going to go? Putin. Yeah, he'll be a stunning and charismatic player on the Russian political scene. Although he will still possibly be able to out-campaign Joe Biden. Brexit wrangling playing into Barnier's hands. No deal, please. I voted for no deal. Fuck the European Parliament. Biden as president. What will a Biden president be like? Well, according to The Hill, a prominent Washington newspaper, I believe, if Biden becomes president, there will be a flood of radical laws which will fundamentally change our form of government. Now, by form of government, do you think they actually mean your way of life? Because if your form of government changes radically, doesn't that mean how you live has changed radically? A flood of radical laws. I wonder what they could be. Here's some absolute stunning lack of awareness by a twat called Mark Wallace. All right, this is a story about the arrogance of Extinction Rebellion. Extinction Rebellion are a green campaign group. They've been disrupting people for a couple of years now. Their tactics are disruptive locally. They stop trains and roads and they block offices and so on. And so, bearing in mind that 1 million people in Scotland have just been locked up for the fear of my elderly gran getting slightly ill, right? And that your life has been put on hold and your economy destroyed for a slightly dangerous virus that might kill, you know, a couple of people you ever knew. Although I don't know anybody who's sick or ill or died at all. And Scotland's a small place. So, you know. This twat says the freedom of people to walk down the street or get to work or buy a newspaper is obviously secondary to saving all life. So why would you think twice? Okay. Well, that was fun. Or not. My phone, it would appear, switched off for some reason. Perhaps it overheated. Anyway, apparently it's okay to disrupt our lives because of coronavirus, but it's not okay to disrupt our lives because of climate change. I think that was the last point I was making, and so I will just move on. The Conservatives to protest crime bill with appeal to free speech. Well, now that's refreshing, isn't it? This is news about the hate speech bill in Scotland. The hate speech bill in Scotland will shut down all forms of freedom of expression that are likely to stir up hatred. Whatever that phrase means, you can be sure that religious people will think it means you're not allowed to say anything about them. It will also mean you're not allowed to possess inflammatory material, which my rude health badge might become inflammatory material. Who knows? And J5476 If you are Antipodean, if you're in Australia, and you would like a rude health badge marking you out as the oppressed minority the Nazis are planning to do medical experiments on, I have a spreadshirt.com.au/Deek shop. You can buy a t-shirt, and I'm working on some badges. Biden steps up campaign as poll lead narrows. Now, Hillary Clinton had a 2.1 lead in the polls, and Donald Trump won. So, potentially being ahead in the polls does not mean Biden's going to win. Dr. Super Genius. Is it just me, or does anyone else want to overthrow their government? Indeed. Although, having said that, what would you replace it with? Because, most of the counterculture people I see couldn't butter their toast. So be careful what you wish for. The French Revolution, the Russian Revolution were characterized by extreme oppression and cruelty after the fact. So let's be careful out there. Joe Biden may or may not win the American election, but it won't really matter, honestly. The World Health Organization is your government, and Wall Street is your owner. I'm not sure why I would have such technical problems, but there you go. Man swats fly and blows up house. A pensioner irritated by a fly as he was eating his meal ended up blowing up his house. Kind of a metaphor for the coronavirus, I feel. A planet slightly afraid that less than 1% of their populations might get ill from a virus which would struggle to kill their elderly gran, destroyed their economy, imprisoned themselves, and gave their government a host of tyrannical fascist laws to rule over them with forever. Indeed. Well, I think that's about it for the news today. Although in Uganda, just one final story. In Uganda, Mr. Galaxy Man from La La Land. Well, that's where I am. I'm in La La Land. Do you want to meet for a coffee? In Uganda, Uganda's Labour Minister Mwesegwa Rukutana has been arrested after a shooting incident at a polling station. The minister shot at his opponent after he lost a primary election. Now, I'm not saying Biden and Trump should duel it out in front of the White House, but I'd pay to see that. Wouldn't you? It'd be much better than those videos on YouTube of people playing Fortnite or Call of Duty. They're really dull. But no, Donald Trump and Joe Biden in a White House death match. Yeah, not outside the White House, inside the White House. They can both start at opposite wings, the East Wing and the West Wing, and they have to work their way through the White House, finding weapons and ammo until they duke it out in the Oval Office. I think probably Donald Trump would win that, as he's probably a slightly more aggressive shooter. But we'd have to ask Melania about that. Okay, well, thanks for tuning in. I don't know what the technical problems were caused by. Perhaps it's the Mysterons. I shall try and ensure that doesn't happen in the future. Until then, I'm off to have a great day. I hope you have one too. Cheers.